Oh man, I had a rough night to share with you.
Go on.
Leighton, particularly, I think you'll commiserate.
Yes.
I'm the spirit. I got Hex Devour Hope going, and I'm in I'm in Coldwind Farm, and I got 5 stacks on Hex Devour Hope because Spirit's so good at getting that 24 to 32 meter distance.
Oh yeah, it's like hook. I'm out of here. I'm not here.
My.
You can't see me. I'm gone.
I'm out. Go help your friend off the hook. It'll totally be fine. I got 5 stacks, so now I'm just like instant Moriing people as I chase them all down. I get a 4 kill, 5 gens still up, feeling great, and then they all DC. I got no blood points. What the fuck? What the fuck,
Oh, well, wouldn't you have not gotten that many in the first place? Because when it's over that fast, it's just like, you were too good at this. Fuck yourself.
They punish you for being too good?
Dead by Daylight punishes you for a lot of things. You rank up, punishment. You play, punishment. You do well, punishment. You fuck up, punishment.
Yeah, if you do a good job as a killer, your reward at the end is people saying very mean things to you in the chat afterward.
Try hard, sweaty, get good.
Oh, baby killer had to camp. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Tunneler. It's like, you kept running into me. I'm sorry.
I feel like this is the state of video games now, is no matter what you do, horrors will be wrought upon you at the end of the game. No matter what.
We're just a bunch of... All Dead by Daylight players have a certain amount of, like, masochism to them. Like, otherwise we wouldn't do this. I mean, the aura's getting fucked, so it's like, oh, I'm blind now. And then the fix looks good, at least, but...
Yeah.
God damn.
I played that game for the first time with Chad, and...
That was so fun.
They don't, again, they punish you by, if you just start playing their game, they're like, here's everything. Figure it the fuck out.
Oh, you have one perk?
Yeah. You get none of the abilities that'll help you stay alive in any way or kill people. Just run around.
They give you all the menus with none of the things in them. So you can see all the stuff that you do not have.
So were you guys doing public matches?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What was the guy that murdered us very quickly, Chad?
I think we ran against the trapper who puts down big old bear traps. We had 2 trappers. And then I think we just kept running into trappers nonstop.
Well, we had that one trapper. We were so bad that they took pity on us and followed us around and let us accomplish all the tasks, and then opened the door for us and stood there and waved goodbye as we walked out.
That's right.
It was
that's sweet.
It was a beautiful moment, actually.
Sometimes you get a little farming going.
Yeah.
It
was nice.
My favorite moments in Dead by Daylight, besides really good, solid games, are when, like, because you can't talk in this game, right? You can't communicate in the middle of matches. So there's moments of, like, the killer and the 4 survivors all having to, like, improving a scene, right? It's almost kind of this, like, this silent shift from, like, oh, I guess we're not trying to kill each other. Now we're all just spinning in circles while you cast electricity over us.
Yeah. Dude, they when we had our nice moment, Chad, before we left, made us do that little, like, ritual before the trapper, and we put our items down in front of it, like, kind of like a bow, like a polite bow before we left.
That's right.
It's a peace offering. A lot of times you can do that if you know you're fucked. Most of the time the killer hits you and then you get to see the cool backflip animation, because if they hit you from that angle it looks sick as fuck.
Cool.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll, like, shake their head yes, and then you're good.
That's cool.
A lot of killers will go AFK and have macros going, so it's like swipe, power, and there was a pyramid head who was doing that exact thing, and so we were running around getting hit, healing, doing it again. And then the exit gates got powered, and I was like, I'll let him get one last hit in, and he had no ed, and I went down, and then suddenly he was no longer AFK. It was a one-person sacrifice.
I love, and I think I started this conversation intentionally this way. If you've not played Dead by Daylight, this is probably abstract as fuck.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine.
Yeah. Well, you two were both talking a separate language at the beginning. Like, literally, I could not I understood blood points. That's all I got was blood points. And it was like, I'm learning how to speak. I'm learning how to read some Japanese, and it was like I recognized the one hiragana that I knew of all this. And I was like, oh, I got that one. I've got that one. Okay.
I know that means water.
You start running into, like, oh yeah, I gotta wait out this DS, gotta bait the DS. God, I'm gonna get BT right now.
Paul had the best, and I gotta say, if you are everything but played Dead by Daylight, I gotta share that, like, when we played last Thursday, it was me who has played like 300 hours and still garbage. You, Paul, first timer. Kevin Cole, first timer, and our friend Josh, Omega Bagel, first timer, and just hearing you guys scream scatter and giggling as you run away from a man with a sword.
It was so scary.
So fucking
it was
great.
So scary.
I loved it. I loved watching
I described the game as the feeling of being chased up a staircase. The game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part about playing with friends, because you just get to hear them scream. And if you do you get that magical moment where it's like, oh, it's Michael Myers. Oh, he's being friendly. He's just looking at me.
He's just staring at me.
Uh-huh.
No, he charges his power by staring at you. Run, you son of a bitch.
Or like, is there blood supposed to be coming out of this generator?
Dude, that sounds, that's awesome. I feel like there's so much I haven't experienced yet. So Michael Myers just stares at you and builds power and then does horrors to you?
Yes,
pretty much.
He has like 3 tiers. So the first one, he has no terror radius. Yeah, so he can just get the drop on you. And if he gets to tier 3, everybody's a 1-hit down. And he's super fast.
Oh, scary!
And then
you
there's
hear the little like you hear the little like Halloween theme, which is so cool.
Yeah, but that's how you all know it's happening. So if you hear that, you're fucked.
You're very scared then. Okay.
I think Ghostface is even scarier, Leighton. You're about to bring up Ghostface.
Yes! He is like, he's the only one who will consistently jump scare me. And like, I love playing him. Playing against him makes me so nervous because like, I just get, oh man, just the worst feeling. You're like, okay, I'm on a generator. I'm looking around me. I'm looking around me. Oh shit!
It's so
because just to help understand, if you haven't seen it, Ghostface from Scream has the same thing with Michael Myers, where you don't really hear him coming, and he gets powered by staring at you. But he also can crouch and peek around corners. So like, you'll literally see a little spooky face just like staring out around a corner at you. You're like, that's not a bush. Oh god.
It's like the type, like, you should not be able to be scared in like an arena with other multiplayer like stuff going on in. I feel like there's like something about that's like inherently not scary, but I was like squealing the whole time, and like I had to be like, I'm not putting this on. This is true terror that's coming out of me.
Yeah, well, it's most of the time it's not even that scary. It's just so intensely stressful that you're just like very on edge. Oh, fuck yeah. With Ghostface, it's funny to me because there are a bunch of killers, you know, if you have like Kindred or Object of Obsession or any perk that lets you see everybody's auras. I love the walk animations on so many of the killers. Like, Ghostface is the only one who will run after you, which I think makes him a little bit scarier because once he's out of stealth, like he just puts the knife up and hoofs it again after you. But like somebody like Bubba like kind of shuffles around like a little dingus. But my favorite is that my friend put it like this, that like Michael Myers is so scary when he's walking because he's walking like he desperately has to take a shit and is like clenching on the way to the bathroom like the man has places to be.
He has to murder you so he can go take a shit.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge in those coveralls.
Yeah, right. He only has that one cosmetic too. Like that's a good power balance of like you could build evil within, right? I think that's the power he has. You build evil within, but after tier 3, you got to go find a closet to take a poop in. You have to find one of the lockers to like spend 30 seconds, and you walk out and you're much faster and lighter.
Yeah, I mean that's the true curse of like coveralls or jumpsuits or whatever. Like if you have to take a shit, you got to get fully naked like a toddler.
Yeah.
We should also probably introduce our guest, by the way.
Sure.
Welcome to Goosebuds. Hello. I'm Chad.
I'm Paul.
Dom is stuck in the Shadow Realm again. God, he's wandering in there. We gotta like do something.
We get him out once, and then he instantly wanders back in. Yeah, it's tough.
We gotta put a gate up or something. But we are joined by the wonderful Leighton, who you might know from Dream Daddy, amazing internet art, or being a pro Dead by Daylight player.
That's a very funny thing to say. Thank you for the introduction. I appreciate that. Yeah, Business Insider interviewed me about my desk setup recently, and they were like, Leighton Gray, a Twitch streamer. It's like, wait, it's not.
Did you recoil at the title, Twitch? You're like, no, that's not me. That ain't me.
It's like, I divest from this. I'm never doing this again. I'm terminating my Twitch account. Don't call me that. That's a dirty word.
I saw that. I didn't read the article. Was because you just have like amazing pink and pastel keyboards, right? Like I saw you like getting really into that.
Oh, do you have like the cool like mechanical keyboard with all the swapped out cool buttons and stuff?
Oh, dude, I have like 5 of them. I have a serious problem. I currently, my daily driver is I have a split keyboard with an ortholinear layout. So like instead of spacebar and stuff, you have thumb clusters.
Okay.
I got all my macros set up.
Woo!
Let's see. I have this one. I got clear and brown switches on this. I have another one that's red switches. I have another one that's brown switches. I have another one that's razor greens. I have a macro pad. Like,
damn.
And you're like, please stop me. Please stop me from doing this.
Somebody, please, for the love of God, take my drop account away from me and unsubscribe from r/mechanical keyboards. It's disgusting.
What determines what color or scheme you're going with on your keyboard? Is it like what your task is? Like, I'm hacking today? Or is it more like your moods?
Most of mine are pink, actually. Again, I have a problem, but I have like a pink CRT on my desk, and you gotta have the unified aesthetic.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you buy keycap sets. The one that I have on my keyboard right now is SA Vile Bloom. If anybody cares to Google that, it's yellow and pink and navy, and it's just really nice.
SA Vile Bloom. I want to see this. Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
Later, I want to see you do one of those kind of like, I can't even remember what magazine did it before the pandemic, but there's like very much celebrity, like 37 questions about me, and then you get like a tour of their home. I wanted to just be you doing one of those for like Vogue, but it's just about your keyboards.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, on our, I have my own podcast, Late Night with Brian Wecht, that we also have a Patreon for, and I end up, we do a couple of videos a month for the top tier, and like most of mine are mechanical keyboard related. I'm just like, hey, I'm going to clean this. Hope you're getting your money's worth. You're doing ASMR now.
This is what you're doing. This is what you're doing to me.
Just as I run my fingers over these mechanical keys, clack, 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 clack. It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Let's hear it.
2 seconds.
Okay.
I knocked all my audio equipment off my desk.
This is such a good shit show of an episode.
I love the distant screaming.
I'm a fucking professional. Will my headphones reach this far? Am I gonna do it again? Oh shit.
It sounded like you just hit a big gong.
Yeah. It's like you're banging your head on stuff. Got a real like Wayne Selinsky vibe going on right now.
That's my professionalism gong. I have to hit it every time. So I'm serious about audio engineering.
Yeah, I'm picturing something out of a Kingsman or a Bond movie where like the walls of your bedroom open up and just this like nice display of different keyboard setups all like meticulously laid out for you to choose from. I wonder today, what are we gonna be typing with?
Okay, so I have a switch tester, which is this thing.
Okay.
You can hear a lot of different ones.
That sounds great.
Nice.
So is it just to make sure everything's up on the up and up? The tester?
It's sort of like a sampler, so if you want to like go buy full sets for you to put in your hot swap keyboards or for you to solder in, it's like, oh, here are all the different types. Like, here's a really tactile one. Those are Zelios's. We got some speed copper bronze. We got jade box switch. We got a couple of other box switches here. You got your tactile, you got your clicky. All the good.
It's like a wine connoisseur. I like this.
Yeah, right?
This is
keyboard sommelier.
Yeah, exactly. Would you like to sniff the escape button before I install it?
We've got notes of a Commodore 64 keyboard here.
Our special tonight is a clear switch 60%. Goes very well with an empty wallet.
So should we address not the elephant?
What?
What? The elephant in the room. I mean, like. So that's right. We were all. I was trying to think of a spookier animal than an elephant, but elephants, while gentle, can be terrifying.
Rhinos are deadly. They're pretty spooky.
Rhinos are pretty fucking scary. Yeah, and that play rhinoceros, but everyone turned into rhinos. That's pretty scary.
According to the book that I read and that Leighton read today, all animals, especially dogs and cats, are very scary. But Chad, apparently, go on.
I'm mad. So, like, I read a different book than both of you but also like just to understand, like Leighton, we have been working to get this episode for a while now.
Yeah, we started this in the before times when you were in the Game Grumps office, and I happened to be wearing my Goosebumps Say Cheese and Die t-shirt.
Yeah,
that might have been in like February, maybe.
That was another world ago, and we have ordered multiple copies of this book.
Yep,
not realizing that the special 10 spooky stories is not actually a descriptive title of the books, but instead just...
This is a design... It's a design error here. We've got a design error.
Yeah, there are multiple, we have at least 5 books called 10 spooky stories.
Yeah, they all have the same name, but they're differentiated in their special edition number, which I just thought was a cool name. Like, I thought it was like each one had a cool new cover, maybe.
Yeah, so... Does your version have this really fucked up skeleton frog on it?
No. Does yours?
Yeah, I got skeleton frog.
Yeah, it's why does it have human femurs? Like it's just like clearly they looked at a human skeleton and were like, yeah, frogs look like that, right?
Oh, he is proportionally a fucking monster. Yeah, even from a exaggeration.
I want to look up an actual frog skeleton. I'm gonna do this right the fuck now.
They got the turtle skeleton right, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I think that is what a turtle skeleton would look like.
Yo, frog skeletons are fucked up.
Let's see what they look like here. Frog skeleton.
Okay, yeah. Let's all make sure we're looking at like scientifically accurate.
Oh,
it's like they put a tibia and a fibia on this motherfucker. It doesn't need
it. Hey, listen, Tim Jacobus, amazing artist, maybe not an expert of animal biology. Maybe.
Why are all of them skeletons except for the bulldog?
Oh yeah, why is that? I guess he didn't know how to draw a bulldog skeleton. He didn't think it would track.
Or that like a dog skeleton would be too disturbing, but a human skeleton in converse that's somehow the same size as this very large frog in a snapback is. I don't.
I think that dog is actually coming to eat and bury all of these skeleton creatures that are hanging out.
Oh, he wants to munch.
He's coming for a munch.
Wait, so I read that one with frog skeletons on the cover. Leighton, did you got different copies of different books? Because the mail kept getting delayed. Mm-hmm. Support the U.S. Postal Service, by the way.
Of course.
Support the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes.
It got delayed for months, and I kept ordering different copies, not realizing I was giving you different books.
Yeah, so I now have... Thank you for the veritable collection.
Beautiful.
So wait, the ones that you read, mine started with the haunted guitar.
Oh. Yeah, I had haunted guitar.
Oh, so I'm the wrong one.
Ha, Paul!
Oh, shit!
I am the wrong one this time. Okay. Mine is awesome because it has Tim Jacobus no limitations on this one, drew 6 curlies on the front of my book, one of which has a sick headband and skeleton hair, that happens, right? Your hair keeps growing. Skeletons have hair for that reason.
Our skeleton also has a little triangle of hair.
Does
on
it?
him.
Yeah, I think the default, either whether they're curly or not, has a mohawk because that was cool.
You guys have Jughead curly for sure. Like that's like a military curly.
Wait, so are the skeletons curlies? What's the deal?
This is a Jake Busey in Starship Troopers type haircut.
It's very like cut your hair hippie type of curly you guys have. Yeah, Leighton, curly is the cool laughing skeleton who isn't in any of the books. He's just a cool skeleton that hangs out with all the other Goosebumps mascots.
Oh God! To be a mascot skeleton
in the 90s.
No cares in the world other than our kids reading your books.
Yeah. Wait. So Paul, do you have the one where they're around a campfire?
Yeah, I have the one with all like.
I see that.
They're having a cool story time. One is very scared. The rest look like they're just having a great time, though.
Yeah. Wow. There's one where they're in a little inflatable pool. Yeah, that's a vibe.
Do you see the snowboarding one? The winter curly?
Oh my God. Why didn't we read this one?
I know. It's all winter themed. There's a Jack Frost one, and it's why I hate Jack Frost, which I'm assuming is just an essay about the movie Jack Frost that he inserted in the center.
Is this the second reference to the Jack Frost movie in as many Goosebumps episodes?
I think you might be. Oh, you're right. I forgot that we talked about that on the last episode.
Yeah, we had TK Johnson on to talk about Beware the Snowman, and it also came up. That movie is burned into our collective brains, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Yeah, it's a real awake during surgery kind of movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So Leighton, I mean, the reason we were even doing these is because this was one you requested. You asked, like, I want them 10 spooky stories, particularly a certain short story, right?
Oh.
Well, yeah, it's very funny because the one that I was referencing was Mirror Mirror. I don't think I ever read this. I don't know what book this is. I certainly never read this. And I was thinking of another mirror-based Goosebumps story that now I'm convinced I dreamed. Because this was not it. I enjoyed it nonetheless.
Good. I'm glad this wasn't it.
I hope that you have like a story that you've experienced that no one else has, and I would love for you to write it at some point. Mirror, mirror.
Yeah, so the mirror on the wall in this book is it's like a girl who's really vain, keeps looking in the mirror, and then her reflection is like, eat shit, I'm you now, and then puts her in the mirror.
Oh, cool.
Which is a cool story, yeah.
Yeah, the one that I remember was like a girl goes into like a mirror world or like some sort of doorway or portal that I thought was a mirror, and then it's sort of in a strange different place. Either that or my child brain embellished the fuck out of this story.
Sure.
Well, yeah, because at first I thought maybe you were referring to Let's Get Invisible, which is the full book about like, oh, this mirror turns you into ghosts and kids from another dimension are slipping through. But like, even the one you're describing,
that might have been it.
It could be, or maybe you found a cursed book, right? Maybe this is the like, that book never existed, says the librarian who gave it to you.
Well, I mean, that's basically like what one of the stories, which was probably my favorite one in this book, the what was it? The TV one. Tune in tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about. I guess like we could just kind of like select our favorite short stories. That
I was gonna say, I think you'll have to tell me about the stories because I read 10 other short stories that you have never heard of before and don't know anything about.
Well, Paul, we also want to hear those too. But
yeah,
do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I at least want to know the log lines at least, or like the half premises.
Okay. All right. I'll do that for you.
I mean, we should say before we get into this, like, too, like. What's your like history with Goosebumps besides inventing entire books in your head that didn't exist?
I don't know. I've always been into this spooky shit to some degree or another, and I would always go for them in school. Of like, I'm not going to read. Well, I'm lying and saying that I didn't read Magic Tree House. I was all about Magic Tree House, but it's like, you need something a little bit more edgelord.
A little headier.
So I went for the Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Went for the scary stories to tell in the dark, of course. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed Goosebumps. I especially like when I was really young, I had a family member in like hospice care, but like for some reason they thought it was appropriate that for like the kids, which a kid's room in a hospice center is like a very grim place.
Sure.
Yeah,
but they had like they almost exclusively had Goosebumps books. Like, hey, you thinking about death?
Yeah, I mean, death is just of the beginning, is what they wanted kids to pick up on. Like, look at this, these fun ghosts who all had a whole life after this.
Maybe your grandma's gonna come back as a cool skeleton.
That's so dark, but also real. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I blame that. That really radicalized me.
It's like finding a communist pamphlet when you're 13 and it just changed your life.
That definitely grew a mohawk onto your skeleton. It made it radical as fuck.
I'm hanging up. I'm gone. Goodbye.
I'm done.
I mean, yeah. I guess let's like talk about some of our favorite ones because we covered 20 short stories in this episode essentially. Like Leighton, when you read Mirror Mirror, I'm assuming did you jump to that one thinking that's like this is it? This is the story I thought it was.
Well, it was the second to last one. I wanted to build up to it. Get
good.
So you went
suspense, and then I got to it and was like, "What the fuck?"
Okay, so you went in order. You went through the whole book. You didn't skip around.
Yeah, because I'm a God-fearing fucking. I play by the rules.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
gotta play by the rules.
We're all
if we've learned anything from Goosebumps stories, if you don't go by the rules, you're fucked. Oh, you lied to your parents about brushing your teeth. Good luck at this summer camp where you're gonna Groundhog Day it. Which one is that?
I don't. The sound when you Groundhog Day at a camp. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's like a summer camp where like the guy's trying to figure out, well, what do I do? What do I do so I can stop replaying this day, and then realize that he lied to his mom about brushing his teeth, and then he brushes his teeth and it's fine.
I don't know if I remember that one yet. I can't wait to find it. That's definitely not Camp Jelly Jam or Camp Nightmare.
It's not Camp Jelly Jam.
I do love me some Camp Jelly Jam.
Yo, Camp Jelly Jam is actually a good Goosebumps book. That one rocks.
Yeah, I love the one where the kid gets turned into a bee. Great time. Love it. Because it's just like, you know what? I am going to kill myself to make this stop. It's grim.
It's the best ones are grim.
Yeah, there's some good grim ones in the book that I read that I'll have to tell you about there. I think there is one that involves a self-sack at the end, too, which is great.
Okay.
Self-sack. Wait, I have a question. In you guys' opinion, what's the most fucked up Goosebumps book?
Ooh. Most fucked up.
I've been saying this since the beginning. The second book, hold on. Sorry, the fourth book, Say Cheese and Die, it revolves around the camera that when you take a picture of it, it makes bad things happen to you and people die from it. And the kids use the camera to take a picture of a man at the end who dies. They murder a man at the end of the book. That's pretty fucked. They commit murder, and then they revisit those kids later, and they're not upset about the fact that they murdered a man with this camera. They knowingly killed a man.
In cold blood.
In cold blood.
Is that the same one as, I don't know if it's the first or second Say Cheese, where a kid just gets like murdered on a baseball stadium or a baseball field? Like a bat thwacks him in the back of the head.
I think it's a later one where they have that.
Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they're pretty messed up.
I don't know if it gets scary, but I always go back to Shocker on Shock Street in terms of that like twist of these kids were even real and they were robots meant to test out a theme park. Like that, beyond being dumb as a twist, it makes me go just like, I don't know, what does reality even mean anymore? Like, can you even believe that your life is, it's very much like kids' first Matrix, right?
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
It's like when I was playing SimCity 2000 and you can read the newspaper in the game and you read the one article and it's about a kid who's playing SimCity in school inside of SimCity. And he's like, makes me wonder if like, what if I'm in a video game right now? And I remember reading that as a kid and being like, that was my first Matrix.
Well, that's kind of the premise of Tune In Tomorrow, right? One of the ones that Leighton and I read.
Yep. I just looked up I wanted to see the cover art for Shocker on Shock Street, and I found this beautiful shirt that is unfortunately sold. Look at how fucking sick that is.
I definitely saw that shirt on sale at Kohl's when I was 12, and I wish I had bought it.
That is dope as hell.
There's something, this is totally a sidebar, but there's something really, really funny about going on Depop or wherever the kids sell their e-girl clothings, where you see shit that you wore when you were a child that was really, you look back in embarrassment and you're like, why did I think that a long sleeve shirt with a short sleeve shirt on top of it with like a monkey on it was cool? And then you see like some pastel, like, appropriation where it's like, this is Y2K aesthetic, this is soft grunge. It's like, what excuse me, what the fuck? This is cool now? No.
No, it was never cool. It wasn't cool when I did it then. It's not cool now.
I suffered for my fashion back when I was 12, and now all you young kids are just wearing it without any repercussions.
Well, they've skated over all the like ugly stages where it's like, when I was a kid, I was wearing cargo shorts and those ugly plaid Bermuda shorts.
Oh yeah.
Yep. No fear cargo shorts with multiple pouches. God.
Yeah, they don't have to deal with any of the problems that we dealt with. Any of the awkward finding ourselves period of fashion.
Oh yeah, and then like makeup where you're like, blue eyeshadow looks good.
I'm still mad about, like, this is kind of half related. I'm still mad about, like, I have this very vivid memory of middle school, Catholic middle school, the teacher calling me out because I was secretly reading the Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow Perfect Strategy Guide. And like, she called me out and the entire class just like mocked me and made fun of me. Like, what a fucking dork. And now people are just like walking around with like Pikachu earrings. Like, motherfucker, I was ahead of the game, I guess. Okay, cool.
Look, Chad, you stormed the beachhead and you were a hero, okay?
Ahead of your time.
Yeah, you'll be remembered as a hero, don't worry.
I love it.
Okay, let's talk about these spooky stories.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah. Please, thank you for getting us back on task, Leighton. Thank you.
Well, no, because my podcast is the same way, where I'll just be like, You guys think Danny Elfman is hot? Do you want to talk about this for 45 minutes and then not address any of the things that we thought we were going to talk about? Guest, I don't give a Do you think Danny Elfman is hot? Guest, what about Philip Seymour Hoffman? Don't argue with me. You guys like Taco Bell? Are you sad about cheesy Fiesta potatoes leaving? Anyway.
I am subscribing to all of these stances, Leighton, by the way. I'm 10 for 10 on all of these.
Hey,
I'd say Philip Seymour Hoffman is at his hottest in not Magnolia, the other P.T. Anderson.
The Master?
Not the Master.
Boogie Nights?
No, fuck. Shit. What am I? I'm blind.
Big Lebowski.
No,
he's sexiest in Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
The Adam Sandler one. Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck. Shut.
You know what? No, he's hottest in Todd Salon's 1998 classic, Happiness.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, peak Philip Seymour.
You were nothing. You were zero.
I was kind of feeling Silver Fox Hunger Games Philip Seymour Hoffman, just like
Okay.
thinking about ways to kill kids, just looking over this like hologram table about how can I make the Hunger Games.
We all just want Philip Seymour Hoffman to punish us. That's all it is.
Yeah. Oh, step on my throat, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I want to see more of him. Every day I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman. I think about, so there was for a while a tweet going around that was like, this scene in Along Came Polly, a bad movie, is
God.
the greatest pratfall of all time because it's 0% telegraphed. It's like him walking into the ballroom or whatever, and like no warning, just completely. It's like the most expert piece of physical comedy I've ever seen.
Wait, Philip Seymour Hoffman's also in Along Came Polly and does a pratfall?
Hold on, I'm finding this so you can watch it. Also, there's a great scene in that movie where it's like him talking to a boardroom that's just like fucking expert.
I'm so excited. I have that memory, like, I've seen that movie so many times because it was on my college TV station, like the ones in the dorms that show free movies. And I just, what a miserable film. What a pleasant time Along Came Polly was.
There's like the period in Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller's careers where they're like, you could be in like mainstream romantic comedies. And this is the beginning of the Ben Stiller period. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah. This is that like, okay, I'm looking at this call. This is like video titled Best Movie Fall Along Came Polly. Damn.
Oh, and it's during the title sequence too.
Yeah, the credits are still rolling when he takes the fall. That's like the height of the movie.
Is this like the introduction to his character in the movie?
I think so.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh
God, I want that kind of timing, you know?
It's so natural. Like that's like a method fall right there.
If you told me that was like an unintentional slip and Philip Seymour Hoffman just rolled with it because he's a pro, I would totally believe it.
He just takes it.
Yeah. Yeah,
God.
well, it's like Malkovich getting hit on the back of his head during that scene from Being John Malkovich, and just like
just
not supposed to be in
it.
the film, but he just rolls with it. It's one of the best parts.
Yeah, it's Leonardo cutting his hand, right? It's the moment where they should have stopped, where they should have called cut, but they kept going.
What's the best one? Is it that, or I'm also a big fan of the Hateful Eight smashing the guitar and
it's the actual
priceless guitar.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Lee, is that her name, right?
Yes,
Jennifer Jason Lee.
Yeah, she's like genuinely reacting to the guitar being destroyed. Is a pretty
beautiful.
Good one.
It's beautiful. Leighton, I just want to say congratulations on using your example of how we get distracted on podcasts, and then we further got distracted on this podcast. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, got him.
It's also all of us just going like, please don't make me talk about these stupid books. Please don't make me fucking talk about...
Do we have to talk about them?
How about we each talk about a short story that resonated with us in some way,
okay,
whether good or bad.
Okay.
I liked. I really liked the first one actually in our book of 10 short stories, The Haunted Guitar, because it was RL's take on Crossroads story of a blues.
Okay.
I guess the only way to do these like 13-page stories is just kind of give you the rundown of.
Well, can I say overall? Reading a 10-story book, I realized that like this is just each one of these was a full Goosebumps book condensed down into about 10-15 pages, and it is very good for the stories. very, very good.
Yeah, my God.
Totally agree. Like this example of this haunted guitar wound by page 3, you're talking to the boy is talking to a ghost named Memphis Willie.
Memphis Willie, yeah.
Memphis
And this
Willie.
is Gertie, my guitar.
I know. I was enjoying all of this. Like, oh, RL, you better watch out. You're getting into some dangerous territory, RL. But like by page 3 or 4, Willie is telling you like, I just can't stop playing this guitar. It's like the music just won't stop. But maybe you want to play this guitar. I'm like, yeah, this is the end of the book. This is the turn of the story.
Sure.
At the very least. I agree with you, Paul. Like they work so much faster as kind of like little digestible. You know what? They're quick bites.
A good quick
bites.
Yes, yeah. These are genius. We should make a platform for these.
We should make a platform where you can just only read these on your phone. Quick bites,
and you can't share them. Do not share them.
Oh yeah, the big failure of Quibi or whatever the fuck.
That's the failure. Yes, it's the non-shareability.
I mean,
it's exclusive. One might argue.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the one in the haunted guitar, the title also tells you everything you need to know about it.
I think most of these, the first one in my book that I read by accident, that was the wrong book, is called The Werewolf's First Night, and it's literally just about the first night this kid becomes a werewolf, and he spoils it with the title. Anyways, go on. Sorry,
that's kind of rad. I mean, I'm just saying, like in terms of, there's not much more than kind of the hook and the premise in each one. It's he picks up this guitar and suddenly Memphis Willie is just gone, and he can't stop playing it. And my only note is they talk about how tough it is. Like, oh, my fingers are starting to hurt, and I really can't set the guitar down. Like, to be fair, if this is like your first time playing guitar, your fingers would be like cut the fuck.
Oh yeah,
up. Like, yeah. I think there's like a VH1 like anthology series about spooky stories that did this exact thing of. It's not that they invented it. It's all the devil at the crossroads, right? Selling your soul to be able to play the guitar. But like that leaned into, you sign this deal to be an amazing guitar player, and because you can't stop, you're like cutting your hands up on the strings, and like you're just bleeding more and more. It's a cool idea. There's not much more to this one and then he played forever.
Right.
Yeah, and then the dad comes in and it's like, yeah, man, play the hits, keep going.
Now you're playing my music.
Yeah, exactly. That's that good old-fashioned bluegrass that we 90s parents love.
Just doing some Dave Matthews, man.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome. I heard he can't stop playing.
It's going March. Yeah.
Yeah, just full on yacht rock, man.
I mean, I thought that the second one was pretty good too, but Leighton, you already alluded to it with Tune In Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, Tune In Tomorrow is... I love how every single character in a Goosebumps story is very explicit about, hi, my name is Jake. I'm 12 years old. But this second one is this girl starts watching a soap opera, and then everything that happens in the soap opera suddenly happens to her.
Oh,
but she like won't catch on it. So like the turn at the end is that like the TV turns off, and it was a show within a show, and the people watching the show were like, damn, that bitch is stupid. Can't believe she didn't figure that out.
Yeah, there's three levels in the fake out.
Okay.
That I think, Paul, you essentially pitched earlier, like the
SimCity thing.
Yeah, like you're following Elizabeth, who is bored. And I also love that the town's called, I kept thinking it was called Watergate, but it's called Westgate. So I was like, what a strange connection.
Oh, the kids will certainly appreciate this reference to a presidential scandal.
But like, Elizabeth is bored with nothing to do, but thankfully they have cable and like 72 channels. And I just thought the detail that it's needed for the premise, but that she's like, you know what sounds good? A soap opera. Like, there's nothing I would rather watch less as a kid than Days of Our Lives.
I'm looking at the trivia for this one. Apparently, she is from Philadelphia, and of course, it references Rocky in it because we are just stuck to that. Yeah,
movie. I wanted to ask you about that, Paul, on your take on it. There's a kind of mean letter where there's a whole side plot about Elizabeth having a friend back in Philly, and they share a hamster.
Are they really mean? Is the friend really mean?
They're kind of mean. Like, I don't know. It's supposed to be paying off that, like, you know, the girl on the TV that she's watching. Her name is like Eleanor, but it's spelled wrong, like Elinor.
Oh yeah, I see that.
If your name is spelled like that, let me know. Would love to know, but I think someone misspelled it. Like Eleanor gets a bad letter, so of course I have to keep changing names. Elizabeth gets a bad letter, which is a letter from her friend in Philly, who's like, not only did the hamster we share die, sorry, but oh man, I keep seeing. This is the quote. I went to the art museum yesterday and watched the tourists run up and down the steps like Rocky in the movies. Boy, did they look stupid. Is that a thing that Philadelphia people believe?
Oh,
Paul?
yeah, we do hate that. We do absolutely. I mean, like, we hate everything here, though. We find a way to hate every single thing. So that's just a higher level of hate for us, though. Yes.
Okay. I thought that this letter, like the turn in this letter was worse than the actual ending of the story because it's after that. It's, like, ah ha ha, tourists are dumb. Then, quote, Liz, the letter continued, I know I promised I would visit you this summer, but Kathy Morrison asked me to go to her place at the Jersey Shore. I hope you understand. P.S. Lucky escaped from his cage last week. We looked all over, but we didn't find him until it was too late. I buried him in the yard. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's it. Ice cold. Well, fuck you. I like Kathy Morrison better. Also, your hamster ate shit. Sorry.
Yeah, joke's on her. Jersey Shore sucks.
She buried the lead with that, though. She really did.
Yeah, you gotta sandwich that in between. You gotta be like, hope you're doing well. Have you played the new Sega Genesis game? Meanwhile, by the way, Lucky died. But also, Jersey Shore sounds cool. Like you gotta sandwich it in there.
Oh yeah.
I had a hamster dying story. I guess that's a real, like, I'm not burying the lead. That's just straight up. When you're a kid and they do the like, oh, there's a class hamster and everybody gets it for like a day or a week or whatever. I got the class hamster and it fucking died.
It died on you?
It died on my round, not through any negligence.
Right.
But then my mom wrapped it in tin foil and put it in the freezer because she didn't know what else to do with it. But then you go back to school and you're a pariah. Like, yeah, we treated him like a thing of lasagna. Sorry.
You can thaw them out or put it in the oven at 425 for 30 minutes.
You get a nice little roast out of it. You get a little bit of gravy in that pan. You get some chopped up onions. That's food.
And yeah, like Leighton has already covered, the end twist of that soap opera is that very weirdly formatted pullout in the last paragraph that while Elizabeth is opening the door implied to be bad luck, Lisa is watching it in another reality and is frustrated that Elizabeth, her show Life with Elizabeth, is not going anywhere interesting.
Right. Well, here's a question for you. In a lot of these stories, how many of the kids were like desperately stupid? Because there were like multiple, like where you're just like, wow, this kid is like, there's a couple times where in just overall reading all these Goosebumps books that you're like, R.L. Stine really does not respect the intelligence of children.
R.L. Stine hates children.
I think he hates children. I think he does.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You tell me. One of the stories in this book is called Stuck in 1957, where a girl finds a pair of cat eye glasses, goes back to the 50s, and at the beginning of the story, she's like, I love my hair. My hair is so fucking dope. I'm going to wash my hair. And then her mom, her fake 50s mom, cuts her bangs so they look stupid. She finally gets back to the present, and she's like, I can't go to school with these bangs. I gotta go back to the 50s. Fuck this. So then she goes and lives in the 50s.
That's insane.
It's right before Mirror Mirror.
Oh yeah, I think I somehow skipped over it. That's so nuts.
Somebody
That's the
didn't
turn.
do the reading.
I did. Well, listen, I wasn't even sure I was reading the right book at this point. So I was. That's.
Well, I mean,
that's
it's like the story
turn.
after that is just the Treehouse of Horror where they start cooking the kids in the school.
That's cool.
Yeah, that Treehouse of Horror was pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. I'm always advocating for more child death in cinema.
I'm with you. Anytime a child died in one of these books, I felt satisfied. And there's a couple. How many child deaths did you guys get? I think I got at least 4.
I should have done a kill count while I was going through it.
There's like an implied 2 death in live bait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcy is the twist is that all the kids are orangutans. Which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost sitter. Oh yeah, there's the implication that the entire family is gonna die in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of like Tomorrow one, the soap opera one, like presumably that character died, but are they even real? So does it matter?
Right.
The lunchbox one, there was the very real threat of starving to death. That one was kind of upsetting in that regard.
Yeah, I love it when he has like a good implied horrid death that's coming for the kid at the end.
Yeah, I think that was most of them, which is also like you're getting at, Paul. These kids are particularly dumb, probably just for the sake of like, well, we got 15 pages to get this premise out.
Right.
The kid needs to walk into the room that says death awaits.
I found that when the dumber the kid or the meaner the kid, the more horrible of an ending that kid was going to get. I think that's a classic like horror trope, right? Like you got to really make me like despise the kid before you're going to put some horrible shit into their life. And he does that. He does that repeatedly through this.
This is a thing that I just noticed on the little, like, flap before you get to the table of contents.
Mm-hmm.
If you purchase this book without a cover, you should be aware that this book is stolen property. It was reported as unsold and destroyed to the publisher, and neither the author nor the publisher has received any payment for this stripped book. I've never seen that before.
No, that doesn't happen. That's a lie. That's a lie that R.L. Stine made up.
No, I remember being a kid. That's what big book is, the lie that they're
Big
pushing
Stein,
on us.
yeah, Big Stein wants you to think that.
But the when I was a kid in school, like I feel like the Goosebumps books never had a fucking cover.
Really?
They'd just be like, I don't know what this one is. Yeah.
Were they being ripped off by like some vandal?
Or did you go to a criminal
Somebody
school?
who really hates R.L. Stein. It's like, oh, you hate kids? Well, I hate you.
You're not getting a penny for this book.
Yeah. They probably cost pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, right.
They're basically pamphlets. So wait, Paul, tell us about the mystery stories in your book. And the thing is, you could have not read this book and you could completely bullshit and we would believe you. So keeping that in mind.
I will make up a couple stories and see if you guys believe me that those actually happened. So be ready to shout those out when you figure out that I'm lying.
Okay.
Jonathan Frakes' voice, fact or fiction?
Never happened.
That was a lie.
We got you. Not this time.
I'll say this is definitely real. There's a story where a kid has a friend called Dweezil the Weasel. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was a really cool 90s name. Like, that's some Pauly Shore.
How is Dweezil spelled?
Ready for this? It's even better, because Weasel's not even spelled right. Dweezil spelled... Dweezil was spelled Dweezel. Dweezil.
Oh,
it's almost like Dweezil Zappa. Like he's getting close to Dweezil Zappa territory.
Yeah, what is this? A Neil Gaiman character?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, right. And then Weasel is spelled like Weasel, but with a Z as well. I guess because he's kind of a punk.
Sure. Okay.
Does Dweezil the Weasel die?
Sadly, Dweezil the Weasel lives, and the kid in the book, I think, dies at the end of it. So Dweezil gets to live and carry on being Dweezil the Weasel for the rest of his life.
Wait, what's the premise of that one? What's like the hook?
This one's great because it's mentioned on the back of the book, but the back of the book gets the plot wrong, which is great. So in this one, it's about a hot day in the summer in I'm assuming New York City, and the kid lives in a high-rise apartment, and it's super hot, and he's got this fish tank that he loves looking in. And one day he figures out that he can do this series of hand motions where he draws on the water, and then it sucks him into the water, and he becomes fish-sized. On the back of the book, in the back of the book, it says he turns into a fish, but it's very clear in the book that he does not turn into a fish, but a very small version of himself, and swims around in the tank, and he kills one of the fish with a spear in his fish tank. His mom tries to flush him down the toilet. He survives that terror. Only to get, and then he becomes human size again, and then he gets tempted by fate to go back into the water because it's so hot, and then his mom puts Chinese fighting fish into the tank with him, and he dies.
Jesus Christ, Mom! Chinese fighting fish?
Implied death.
Holy shit!
It was pretty cool. That's where the book really took off. That was story 3. It really started to kick off on that at that point.
I mean, the way you're describing it, Paul, when you said getting sucked into the pipe, I was picturing that Junji Ito, the Kamigawa fault type of thing of getting stretched into a human, a pipe-sized human as opposed to
this
shrinking
is my
down.
hole.
This is my hole. I must go in it, Mom.
I was getting some Ito vibes from this book. Actually, there were a couple of them where I was reading it. And I was like, this is giving me some Ito shit here. There's one that's all about horniness for gummy candy. It's just straight up about a bunch of kids that are just horny for gummy candy. They're all about it, and they discover a monster on the beach, a sucker monster that that is also horny for gummy candy. And literally the whole thing, it just revolves around these kids being obsessed with eating gummy worms, and that's the whole thing, the whole book. It's crazy.
What's the turn?
They're just still horny for it. They just like
They fuck a bag of gummy worms or what?
basically.
It's those big, like 5-foot, like gummy worm ones you always saw on those like novelty internet sites, and they're just like, oh, I just got to keep eating this endless gummy worm. I got to keep going.
Again, in Junji,
Gotta deep throat this gummy.
in Ito fashion, they're just horny for some gummies, and it kills them. It's fucking weird. It's like truly a weird story. Like these kids are like getting beat up by bullies. The bully smells gummies. He can smell the gummy candy on the kids. Which look, can either of you smell a gummy candy? Like, can you smell it from far away through someone's clothes?
Sour Patch watermelons.
Okay, maybe those. That's true.
I say if you're cracking open like a tub of them and that stored air is coming out, you definitely can smell the gummy.
But in a kid's like sweaty pants, no.
Oh, no, I would be really worried about that.
It was weird. I'm trying to think of other really good ones. There were some actual good ones in mine. There's one called The Cat's Tale, which was like super like Pet Sematary-ish, where this cat tried to kill this girl, and it had this really creepy rhyme that it kept whispering to her about 9 lives and how it was going to steal hers before its 9 lives ran out. And then she has to kill the cat, which I found very disturbing. She kills the cat. There's a lot of pet killing in mine for some reason.
Yeah.
And then
R.L. Stein hates children
and
hates
animals.
Pets.
And
that's right.
Like I said at the beginning, Leighton, I thought you would read the same one as me. He really hates pets and poison ivy as a indoor kid. Also, I totally get that. He makes poison ivy into a monster in one of his stories in this one. But he hates nature, basically. There's also there's a crazy one where this girl finds a shell. This is very Junji Ito as well. Finds a shell on the beach, and there's a tiny voice inside of it screaming, "Help me." And she keeps talking to the shell. Also, she's horny for shells. And because she's going to take it back to school and everyone's going to love her shell collection, which is totally like, as a dorky kid, the kind of, delusion that you suffer from that you think will finally make people like you is like her shell collection delusion is one of those. And she finds this shell and it's screaming for her to help it. It tells her to go inside of a cave. She goes inside, she witnesses a bunch of horrors, and then she finds, all with the promise of, when I take you into this cave and you help me, you're going to find the greatest, biggest shell of all time, and you're going to be famous because people are going to love this famous giant shell. And then what do you guys think happens? I'll let you guess.
She's in the shell and she's the one saying, "Help me."
That's what I thought too. I thought,
I thought you'd go into the shell and become some sort of slug monster.
That's what I thought too. I thought that's the better ending. I agree with both of you that's the better ending. What actually happens is it's just a giant hermit crab, and it was a baby hermit crab talking to her in the small shell, and it led the food to her mom, and that was the ending.
Wow. So there seem to be some like really common overarching themes here, because we had one in ours that was like, kids go fishing. This creepy old man is using them as bait to catch a bigger fish. Mm-hmm. And then it seems like a lot of them are like, I am going to lead you to a creature that is going to eat you.
Yes, definitely.
And then there's like the joke ones. Like there's something strange about Marcy in this one, which is like a bunch of kids hanging out, being rowdy. There's another kid who's staring at him and won't do anything. And at the end, she's like, yeah, this is study number 10. Like they've accepted me into their own. And it's like, oh yeah, I just now realized I'm an orangutan.
Those are the best ones, because it's like, joke's on you, you idiot reader. You read this whole story and it was stupid,
I'm trying to think of like the classical novel version of that twist, right? I never said that they were humans in like a classic work of fiction. H.G. Wells wrote
I was gonna say there's like
I can't think of.
It's like kind of like Twilight Zone-y, right? There were like some Twilight Zone ones where they would like flip you at the end and they'd be like, surprise, the whole time, or like Planet of the Apes, surprise, it was on Earth the whole time, Right,
like, yeah.
They get you with those classic twists.
Or they were actually really big or normal size and we were tiny.
Mm-hmm, yes, they get you with those old chestnuts.
It feels cheaper in at least books like this, particularly because the trick, right, or the illusion, the misdirect that they're doing is on a withholding of information, as opposed to Yeah, you're right. The Twilight Zone. I'm thinking of. I can't remember the name of the episode. The one where like everyone is hideous and has kind of like pig faces, and they like that is a twist, but you're also like aware of the concept early on, and then getting to play with it, as opposed to, well, I didn't say they had noses, so haha. Like
got him.
Got him. It's such a different feeling.
I'll give you like it's not quite the same, but it was like one of those moments that like really pissed me off because it was just a stupid detail to begin with that RL brought back later. So there's one in this called which one is it? It's You Gotta Believe Me. It's called, and it's about this kid whose parents don't let him watch TV, and his mom says, "Don't you sit in front of that box that tells you how to think," which definitely is the type of parent that now is subscribed to Facebook conspiracy groups and 100% believes them. Like, absolutely, that's the parent that we're dealing with. He's not allowed to watch TV, so he spends all of his nights upstairs in his room looking out into the sky with a telescope, and he says he always sees UFOs. And he's got an older sister who picks on him, and she's always sneaking out early to put on makeup, which is a weird thing that R.L. Stein says.
R.L. Stein hates makeup. There are many of these that are like, girl was vain.
Yeah.
She should die.
She should die for that, right. That's enough of a flaw. She dies now. There's that, and then there's his younger brother, who the only feature this kid is given is that he likes to make giant balls of aluminum foil. And I'm gonna cut to the chase.
I kind of get it. I kind of get that appeal.
I guess, but like that's the kid's only feature, his only characteristic. And so like I'm like, okay, well I'll just waltz past that weird detail and just keep going with the story. And then you get to the end of it. He finds out that aliens are gonna invade. He wants to reflect their alien like brainwaves back at them, so he needs to make a giant aluminum foil mirror. He keeps calling it. And he doesn't have enough foil, and then he goes and he steals his brother's aluminum foil ball. And it's just like, okay, like, RL got to the end of this story and was like, fuck, I gotta invent another sibling so that I can give this kid a little more aluminum foil. And he throws that in there. And it's just like, those are like you're saying, like the types of things where you're like, come on, man. Come on. You like withheld some information from me, or you gave me some like bullshit information that seemed useless just so you could use it at the end. Also, the kid goes to Joe Piscopo High School.
I'm so curious what the ideation process for these is for old RL. Like, it's just my son's eating gummy worms.
Yes,
what if kids were like really horny for gummy worms?
Horny for these gummy worms.
I think RL went to the mall to buy shoes from like Eddie Bauer. And he saw a kid in a food court just like smacking his lips, eating gummy worms.
And he could smell it. Like he could smell the scent of it.
Smell it. And this is like the one time a month that RL would leave his house because he has asthma. And like he just saw this kid and hated him. Right. Just like he just stared at this like little 5-year-old, just gummy smeared all over his face, and like, I'm gonna write a story about that kid being horny for gummy worms.
I truly think we've said it multiple times during this, but I do think that he hates kids, and I think that he wants to enact horrors upon them. I think this is like a source of pleasure for him.
It's like, I'm glad that he has this outlet, because God knows what he'd be doing otherwise.
Yes. We avoided a serial killer. This is one serial killer avoided with R.L. Stein.
I'm proud of him. He's good. Like, this is better than therapy. It's like, I hate kids. I wish they would fucking eat shit and die. I'm gonna put a skeleton frog on this. Yeah, fuck it. Who cares? That's gonna scare them. Let's get some trauma in here, baby.
Can you imagine an alternate universe where RL wasn't an author, and there's like the Mindhunter dudes are like, who is this RLS? And why is he leaving mohawked skeletons? He's shaving all of their heads, their bodies. What is he doing?
He leaves behind notes that are like the Zodiac letter, but it's like, if you think you should catch me, turn to page 54.
Oh my god. No. It's writing notes about sour smells and falling hard on your hands and knees, all the classic tropes.
Yeah, it's like, here's my manifesto, and then they're like, Jesus Christ, what's the psychological profile on this man? There's just so much stuff about kids being stupid.
I think we've dialed in on the core essence of RL even more than we ever have before.
Hold on, I do have to say something. I've been looking at the wiki page for the one you two read, because I needed to, see like what you guys were dealing with.
Yeah.
There's a second author listed on your book.
Oh shit! I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm. Carolyn Crimmy.
Carolyn Crimmy. I'm looking to see where it's listed on the actual paper at all.
Is she written in there at all? Because apparently he had a second writer going.
I do not see anything
Neither
in the
do I.
Now something
about section
Leighton that we talk about all the time is the definite ghostwriters that were absolutely helping to churn out these books, right?
Yeah. Well, and there's also, I've read a lot of stuff, like, I read a lot of writing, fucking writing Let's Plays. Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be talking about Oxford commas. Be sure to smash that motherfucking like.
I'm definitely team Oxford comma, by the way.
But, like, he churns these out in, like, 2 days or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
So that makes sense.
There's also that quote, Chad, I think you posted it recently, where he said, my books mean nothing, which I think is really funny.
God. I wanted, all right, if we're going to talk about, let's talk about that.
Nisha, all right, dude.
That one broke me. Someone in, you know what it was? It was in our Discord, some fans were sharing, some listeners were sharing. It's presumptuous to say fans, but if you're in the Discord, I guess you're a fan. We're sharing a YouTube comic reviewer who is breaking down RL's recent run on Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. I literally always get Swamp Thing and Man Thing confused every time.
It's Swamp Thing, right?
The show?
The Marvel comics. Swamp Thing.
Gotcha.
Man Thing is Marvel. Swamp
No,
Thing
you're right.
DC.
It is Man Thing. Yes.
Yeah, Man Thing, and I like Man Thing actually more. But like RL did a recent run of Man Thing, and if you haven't seen it, Leighton, it is like the cringe. I hate using the word cringe. It's the cringiest dialogue of trying to be cool. Old characters. Like, Man Thing talks like just a dude's doing puns, which is not what fucking Man Thing is. He's not a pun
I'm
man.
looking at...
But like jokes about like an ancient angel that Man Thing interacts with, making jokes about Bitcoin. And Man Thing finds a boot in the swamp and goes, it's a boot. It's a bummer. It's not my size. Size 412.
Nice.
It's like it's jovial Bob Stein taking one of the scariest Marvel properties and making him just a fucking clod.
Goofing it up.
Horrendous. It's genuinely really bad comics, and the art's great. It's a shame.
The art does look really nice.
Yeah, the whatever illustrator, penciler, like inkers who got teamed up with RL, I'm so sorry, because you deserved better. But there's some quotes from RL. I'm trying to find them in the Discord.
He literally, it's basically him saying, "I don't stand by anything." It's his version of that quote.
I know. I'm gonna find it because it's such an important quote to me. Like it when I found this, I wanted to actually share it with you all because this is like him admitting his sins. Well, this is the end of the Jinx where Robert Durst says, "I killed them all." Like
I killed them all. I did.
I did. I don't know what happened to him. It's just this quote that I'm trying to find it. Let's see.
Well, it's great because he says that the stories are just the stories. They don't. There's no deeper subtext of them, right? You found it. You found it. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
These are two different quotes. I forget what the original source is, but this guy, the video is called Comic Tropes, the channel. If you want to look them up, Dutch. But let's see. This quote from RL. I don't think about themes. I'm a plot guy, just a story guy. All my books are just totally plot driven. The main theme as it develops is there's going to be chaos on Earth unless Man Thing can rescue Old Father. That's not a theme! Like, it makes me so mad. And this other quote.
Does nobody know what a fucking theme is anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. And then this other quote, which is just like it's so disrespectful to me. No, I just write a plot. I plan everything. I plan every Goosebump book. I do an outline. Fucking bullshit, by the way. You do not have an outline. I plan everything out first, but I'm all plot driven. But I never have anything I want to say. Goosebumps books have no messages. The only message is run away. They have no morals. They're all for entertainment. This comic book is the same way. That
oh my god,
quote, like, really hurt that day in the Discord. I think people who were part of it saw me like breaking.
We were like, it's impossible. Like, look, we have discovered that there are books that are definitely about puberty, books that are definitely about divorce. We know, RL, that you got these things going on in your head and you're putting them out. we're Carl Jung in you right now. We're going into we're finding your archetypes, and we're psychoanalyzing you. We got you, buddy. We got you.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, please. I'm literally just flabbergasted rereading these again. It's like an affront to everything I believe in writing. But please go ahead, Leighton.
I just found a quote from an NPR interview. I don't ever try to think of ideas. I always just think of titles. And then the title leads me to the story. One day I was walking my dog in the park here in New York, and these words flashed into my mind. Little shop of hamsters. Where? Why? I don't know where it came from. What could be scary about hamsters? Could maybe there be 1,000 of them? Or maybe there'd be a giant hamster? What's scarier than one hamster? 1,000
of them.
1,000 hamsters. I just like, I remember even in the YouTube video where these quotes were posted, there were people like, I think it's pretty cool that he doesn't care about plot and is just writing scary stories. But like, if you really don't care about even having something you want to say or even a like half-assed theme, like at that point you're just doing like the equivalent of like data entry,
right?
I think.
Right.
Like,
why are you even making art if you're like, I have no message?
Right.
I have
nothing
I was
to
going to do
say.
some funny puns. I want some funny jokes and puns to say. I guess like at least even Airplane was like playing off of the disaster trope movies of the time.
Right.
Like there's at least something
right.
that they're saying.
Yeah, it's like, do you respect children so little that you're like, they don't even deserve a message. This is just words on a page.
Those little shits wouldn't even understand it if I had a message in these things.
They wouldn't even care. This little gummy eating snots. Like I don't know. I bet if you even asked Michael Bay about Transformers, he could at least pull out of his ass that it's the first one's about like a teenage rebellion and getting their first car or something. Like anything of a theme or a parallel or anything to pull from, but just nah. I just kind of like I just write outline. It's all plot.
I just think about 1,000 hamsters, and that seems scary to me.
Like that's so depressing.
He's not sitting there like, all right, Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. You know, I want to do a deep character analysis. I want some character growth. No, the character growth is that they're dumb, and then the end point is that they face consequences for being fucking stupid, and those consequences involve getting eaten by a giant hamster.
Yes, or 1,000 hamsters.
Which apparently that is actually a Goosebumps book. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Well, yes. I don't know what he's referring to. First, I thought maybe he retroactively came up with Monster Blood 2 that way, but no, it's because that has a hamster getting large. I don't know what the 1,000 hamster one is.
Is there another hamster book?
Little Shop of Hamsters.
God, if that got left on the editing pile.
What a missed opportunity.
Hamsters.
Maybe it's.
Oh no, it's a book.
Is it Goosebumps 2000?
Oh, it's Goosebumps Horrorland, which is published in 2010.
Oh, gotcha.
We haven't dipped our toes into those yet. I'm still not sure what the actual like framing of the Horrorland series is.
Right.
Is it? Are they all just tied in? It sounds like this is he gets a hamster from the Horrorland gift shop.
Yeah, it seems like they knew that Horrorland might. I always wanted to read one of these, and by the way, Leighton, maybe we need to have you back to cover one of these. But it feels like at some point in the 2010s, the aughts, they at least realized that like Horrorland is one of the most recognizable Goosebumps places.
Mm-hmm.
So they just made it there.
Once they had the Google search, the keyword search information, they knew what to really plug away at.
Yeah, it's like Slappy and Horrorland, and then maybe Monster Blood. What can we run with those?
I'm reading this synopsis, and it makes absolutely zero sense.
Try reading the whole book. It's great. A whole book is always a lot of fun to read.
It's true.
Out of context, Paul, I want that on a poster in a library.
A whole book is a lot of fun to read.
Yeah, it's like one of the LeVar Burton like leaning against a tree holding a book.
Yo,
you're holding a volleyball for some reason. Like it's not even a sport.
If I could be remembered for one quote, I think I would take that as being the quote I'm remembered for.
Just make that poster and sell it. Honestly, see how many kids' libraries you could get it into.
I'll stand by those words.
Guys, my soul is crushed enough that I think we've covered these books well enough. Do y'all have any parting thoughts or Leighton?
Yeah, Leighton. What did you think? Yeah. What did you think of your 10 spooky stories?
It's interesting. You know, I don't think I've read a Goosebumps book since I was a small child, which I imagine is probably the same for a lot of people. And Boy, it's funny because they read like the kind of stories that you write as a kid. Like, wow, it's so like direct, I guess, in a very uncomplicated way. Yeah, I don't know. They're fine. I like don't want to revisit them because I don't want to taint the magic of like being a child and being like, damn, this is twisted.
It's so much funnier. It's so much nicer when you think of RL as this crypt keeper, master of horror, and then when you rewatch the videos, you're like, he's just kind of a bored old man. He's just kind of there, like, hello, I'm RL. Welcome to my
yeah,
world
when you
of
search
horror.
him up, one of the first things that comes up is New York Magazine. R.L. Stine explains Shakira tweet.
Well, okay. I see. Also, I want to know everything about that, and it's almost better not.
Yeah, some things are better left. Some stones are better left unturned, and I'm just going to leave that one laying on the ground.
I don't want to hear RL say in any way hips don't lie. I don't want like to even connect whatever that could possibly be about.
This is the most asinine interview I have ever seen. I'm not kidding. Hold on, look at this shit.
Let's see.
Okay. This is on New York Mag.
Wow.
If you're looking up, R.L. Stein explains that Shakira tweet. God, just look at him.
The image is great.
Just look how miserable he looks as he's in that image Photoshop next to Shakira.
Oh, so he just tweeted Shakira, huh?
And now this is an article.
I thought there was more to the tweet. No, in July 7th, 2018, just Shakira, Shakira, exclamation.
But he just thought it would be funny to tweet Shakira. I was walking down the street and I thought Shakira, and I felt that would be a good tweet.
Have you seen the movie Zootopia? Zootopia, the one with the bunny rabbits?
Yeah, I really liked that gazelle character. I can't explain it. I don't know why.
This is the shortest interview ever. This must have taken like 2 minutes. The reporter called, asked like 6 questions, and was like, "I'm out of here."
Well, I love that there's the italics at the end. Editor's note: interview has been edited and condensed for clarity.
Okay. There we go.
Was this 3 hours long where he went into a fugue state and just ranted about Shakira and how much he hates children and wishes them a violent death?
This is the last question, like, really sums up the tone of this interview. Back in 2010, you tweeted, "In search of the song of summer," and listed Shakira's Waka Waka among your contenders. What do you think is the song of summer for 2018? I've been listening to Havana a lot. Editor's note: interview has been edited and condensed for clarity. End of interview.
That's it. Like, I think RL just hung up on them mid-interview. It was like, I gotta go. Some porridge is boiling. I gotta get over to it.
This is something I've never seen this before, Leighton. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Can you imagine writing this article and like turning it in and being like, "I'm done.
Pay me, please."
This is the definition of a puff piece. This is like reached a new level. This in itself, like R.L. Stein's gonna read this and be like, Shakira. That could be a book.
That could be a book. I'll write that book. And then the follow-up tweet: "Everybody Wang Chung tonight," which is great. Okay.
Yeah, and then sure. I mean, it's a good song.
Has anybody ever written like a parody Goosebumps book about R.L. Stein specifically?
Because there's the Goof Flumps.
There is
books,
Goof Flumps, and we haven't read one of those yet.
What the heck is that?
I had those because I was just buying everything Goosebumps I could find. Parody series written by Tom Hughes under the pseudonym R.U. Slime.
Okay.
Really got him.
Mm-hmm.
Got him. Mm-hmm. You put out 2 books, Stay Out of the Bathroom and Eat Cheese and Barf.
Mm-hmm.
Really high-end parody books.
That's very close to Leighton, to your title that you came up with, Eat Shit and Die, which was another good. Maybe you should write that book, Eat Shit and Die, and it's about R.L. Stein.
Eat Shit and Die, written by Enitz L.R.
And it's like a misery story where you just capture RL and keep him alive.
It's like, RL, I have you chained in a room. On the opposite end is chained a child. Every day the chain will get 1 foot longer. One of you will have to eat the other. It's only a matter of time. Face your worst fears, RL. It's time. Your time has come. Wait, doesn't the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, isn't he R.L. Stein?
Oh yeah, he is.
I guess that's making fun of him. It's pretty nice to RL, honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty kind to him.
He isn't like unhinged child killer?
No, and then he's
Doesn't
also
have a
in
John Wayne Gacy style under the house cemetery. God, that's a
they
very
should have
not tasteful joke.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I mean, like,
we love to get dark.
I'd say it's pretty nice. The movie's pretty nice to RL. We still haven't watched the second one. We need to.
Yeah.
And RL's at the end of the first movie as a cameo, playing Mr. Black as a. Do you get it? They swapped. Jack Black and RL swapped places.
That's so clever.
Even then, it feels like the writer of that movie either had to do a pass to be nice to RL or just didn't care enough about knocking at the totem of RL, so to speak, and like poking fun of him. It's pretty nice.
The director's cut really took it throws all the scenes where they're just going on endless tirades against R.L. Stein for putting them through this. Like they cut all that out, but it is in the preferred director's version.
The unrated cut.
The Criterion Collection.
Yes.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
There's a whole extra 30 minutes in black and white.
I do have a question for you, Leighton. Will you, now that you've read a Goosebumps book as an adult, will you wear your Goosebumps shirt again?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's bitchin'.
Great. Awesome.
Every time I never get more compliments on an article of clothing than when I wear that shirt.
Okay, cool.
And I got it from Hot Topic.
Oh,
of course. Is Goosebumps now enough retro that it's in Hot Topic? Of course it is.
Yeah, of course. Of course it is. What is the current state of Hot Topic? Does it still...
They're probably out of business, right?
Exist other than a punchline?
I went to one... I think it's interesting that the Hot Topics I've gone into now have gotten more like GameStop-y, where like all before the outbreak, like there's one in Couple Hollywood I would walk through for fun. It was a little more like anime, like Naruto shirts everywhere, and that kind of like, it's a little less AFI and mindless self-indulgence type bands.
And like rubber bracelets and like I made you a waffle, but I eated it.
Yes. Oh my God. You just like flashed me back. Holy shit. Oh my God. Haven't thought about that.
Like a rubber bracelet that says I'm fluid in sarcasm.
The last time I walked into Hot Topic, actually, I remember like, because I'm always like, well, maybe there'll be like a cool discount anime shirt that's on clearance and I'll pick up just for fun. Mm-hmm. And I remember the last time I was at a Hot Topic, they had just like half the store had put most of their shirts in this giant like clearance pile at the front that was just like, we don't give a shit, just sort through, see if there's anything in there you want. Like we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been sort of that divide between Spencer's Gifts and Hot Topic, which, like, Spencer's commits to really not giving a shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you want vibrators, you want a big fat dildo, do you want a mug that has, like, titties on it?
Yeah.
Go fucking wild, man, who cares?
You're trying to be a goofball, you're trying to be a goofball that fucks. What are you trying to do in here?
You guys like weed? Yeah, meanwhile, right. Hot Topic's like, if you spend $200, we'll give you a $5 coupon.
Right.
Nothing says punk rock rebellion than saving 5%.
Then rewards cards. Yeah.
And sensible financial decisions.
Guys, I think that's good.
I think we goosebumped.
I think we goosebumped.
We bumped
Leighton,
it up.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this was delightful. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure.
Of course, it took a long time for the stars to align, but it was definitely a pleasure and a blast. We hope that this story can inspire your works in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more what not to do than to do.
What are you talking about? Every single title of everything I'm doing now is going to have a stupid pun. It's going to have inaccurate skeletons on it. And this has really stoked a deeper hatred of children in me. So thank you, RL. An inspiration to us all.
Business Insider's coming back. I'll say this much. They're coming back for that second interview because they're going to need to get the profile.
Shakira.
That's all you got to tweet.
Speaking of your future projects, Leighton, what should people go to check out to see what you're currently working on, what you have worked on?
On Twitter, I'm at Graylish. That's Graylish. I have a podcast that I host with Brian Wecht of Ninja Sex Party and Starbomb called Leighton Night with Brian Wecht, a name that I did not pick.
Amazing name, by the way. It's amazing.
Thank you. But it's a talk show where we interview people from the internet, and it's mostly bullshit. And what else? Oh, I started a horror history podcast that the next episode comes out tomorrow, which will be Friday, the whatever day it is in this goddamn hellscape.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm working on the history of found footage. So if you want to check that out, take a peep at it. Everything else is NDA.
Is it horror movies or is it like just horror in general?
Horror movies, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this first series is a 3-parter about just like the full, extensive, like deep dive on found footage, and then God knows what future ones will be.
God knows.
Oh, that's really rad. What's the name of the podcast, if you didn't say?
Deep Cuts. It's on the main
Deep
late night feed. But yeah, it's pretty good, and I like it and think it's cool. So if y'all like horror and hearing me rant about very nerdy film stuff, that's the thing for you.
Sounds wonderful.
Total. I'll check that out. And of course, if you want to find more stuff to listen to in Goosebuds, you can go to our patreon.com/Goosebuds. Supporting the show gets you access to bonus episodes, the Discord that we've already mentioned several times in this episode. You can jump in and see things like me breaking down as the death of the author fully takes me. You can also follow us on Twitter at GoosebuddsPod, or email us at goosebudspod@gmail.com. And please, Leighton, you're an amazing person. We're really glad.
Yeah, thank you again for coming on. We really had a pleasure.
You. Yeah,
pleasure enduring this with you.
Listeners, thank you. Remember, kids are stupid.
Fuck them kids.
See you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And now, a reading from the Book of Names. We'd like to thank these Patreon supporters. First off, we're starting with Hollis Hornbeak,
Stefan, Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Michael McDowell,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Josh Robertson,
David Cron,
Nick Hinkle,
Mickey C,
Nathan Dolezal,
Fred Atkins,
Mike Lanteri,
Clayton C,
Ailcade,
Buddy Morrill,
Natu Pearl Henderson,
Mel Dipson,
Jared Mason,
Jim Greaves,
Zang Keith,
Joshua Lopez,
Danky McStanky,
Afshin,
Dango Twiss,
Jennifer Britton,
Aaron T. Strunk,
Victor,
Zenticles didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning,
Brian Wells,
Becca McWilliams,
Stealth Bates,
Patrick Reynolds,
Joseph Miranda,
Robert Moon,
Scott Colopy,
Jason Crooker,
Third Sergio,
Jonas Blatterman,
John Keaty,
Miguel Pardo,
Clay Castle,
Kath,
Christina Doling,
Matthew, it came from fan mail,
Matt the Half-Court Warlock Bachelor,
Reinfected,
Stiggy,
Tyler Penner,
Maddie,
Gregory D. Warren,
Ishak Arafin,
Mikey Jello,
Alan Saylor,
Chosen One,
Sam Hash,
Paul Grasso,
Cody Redfield,
Joe, remember to save early and often, Scott,
Trans Rights,
Rich Hilborn,
Walter Frazier,
Aiden Alexander Dice,
Bradford Coulter,
Jin Kay,
Dylan Vaughn,
Justin Wagman,
Taylor Dierks,
Joshua Jacobwitz,
2 in the slink, 1 also in the slink, all 3 in the slink then.
Tommy got a tummy full of murder wasps, Hoey,
Ryan Shell,
the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation,
Cardboard Walk,
Trendy Moron,
Leviathan,
Rug,
Up and Champ,
Trent Davis,
Alicia Grafe,
Vincent Modica,
Connor Church,
Heath Robinson,
Luke Noodles,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Joe Gorman,
Carl,
Brock Graham,
Hugh Bolin, Zam Bambino, Blake Alvarez, Space Tiger,
Anthony Kuwabara,
Brooke X,
Moil Oyster,
Boney,
Elusive Koala,
Christian Vanskever,
Yanni Markovina,
Brian Hobgood,
Joe,
Zach Connor,
Corey Shelley,
Nathan Remick,
Jesus Christ,
Jordan Lockwood,
Jake Young,
Foolish for Deborah,
Jeremy Lowe,
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost, Tierney,
Anxious Serve,
Tom Whitham,
Devaldi,
Kevin Hamilton,
Valhalla Black,
Llama Consultant,
Patreon_donator, yo,
Carewise Gamgee,
Reed Stubendick,
Andrew Making Me So at Home, Jadzik,
Joey Evans,
Goose Time,
John the Howling Eye Duda,
Cameron Hansen,
Nicholas Johnson,
Elizabeth Steenweg,
Eric England,
Andrew Evans,
Lord Cornwallis,
Generally Depressing,
Swag Bumps Night at Camp Yellow Squire,
Just Garrett,
Mike Roch. Haha, gotcha. It's actually Spencer. Oh, Spencer.
Goon Cahoots,
Cardamom Burkambino,
Anthony from Let's Watch Something,
Daddy's Happy Apple Boy,
Dylan McCann,
Etonomore,
Snesh Chalmers. I said Snesh Chalmers, SNES Chalmers. I don't say that. I don't say it Snes.
Yeah.
Dan,
Straightforward, non-funny name for Dom. I'm sure he appreciates it.
Chris Pittman,
Glenn,
Jacob the Rough Handle,
Buffcat,
Germ Juice,
Sean Minogue,
Jonas Ennevoldsen,
Dylan Eads,
RL Slink,
Boss Garrettson,
Zach Bush,
Egg Baby,
Dr. Worm,
John Pigeon Hat Barber,
Stinklich,
Calamity Carl,
JR Chip,
Chip Handsome,
The Voyant, Claire,
Jared Nudie,
Alex Moon the Robot Dog,
Matt McKellen,
Sarah Kemp,
Nick Johnson.
Tanya Turtle,
Gonna interrupt you other two guys for a sec to plug my great new website, johns-story.com. Full disclosure, I looked up that URL. Looks like it's fan fiction about Halo, maybe? I don't know. Follow at your own risk. Also, check it out.
Adam Morocco,
Stephen Day,
Chili Dish Gambino,
Caden Franklin,
Bad Vibes Jr.,
Oze,
Brett,
Ryan Carroll,
Spencer Kimball,
Sadie Kitson,
S,
Jeremy Bowser,
Wacky Username,
Robert Edward Hodgson Jr.,
Manuel Aviles,
Megan McCormick Mason,
Adam You Goofed,
The Slink of Fate,
Juan Jalapena,
Ninja Bread Men, note the plural,
Jimmy Soul,
Hood Lemon,
Muscles Bear,
Mud Bark,
Matthew Stevens,
Cameron,
Jacob Foster,
Got Little Old Moi Pretty Freaked,
Milky Nug,
Parker Lee,
Dakota Campion,
Russell Gore,
Timothy Misodulakis,
Keith Halcrow,
Clay McCarthy,
Aogen,
Ashley W.,
Wesley,
Wade Norcross,
Chris Keeper of the Mastosphere Nelson,
Stinkline the Goblin,
Nata S, saying backwards,
Taylor Shedden,
Wonderskin,
Ham_boat,
Nicholas Butler,
Kelly Sestair,
Jordan Slamsy,
Raymond Hernandez,
Comfy System, The Venomous Viper,
The Crow Fens,
Maggins, Zach Carey, or Zach's Curry,
Cod Salmon,
Flemily,
Nicole Watkins,
Matthew Sutton, Jeffrey Owen Cahy,
Wolfslore,
Who's Ryan? Who is Ryan? Who's Ryan? Kelsey Kinnamon,
Peanutberg.
Dylan Napier,
And we'd like to welcome these new patrons to the Book of Names:
welcome Kit,
Xavier Jimenez, Dr. Chocula,
and welcome new Patreon Rum Daddy.
Brendan Arafin,
Welcome new Patreon Robert Allen Cook III.
Chris Boutrakis,
Welcome Liam Neeson's Doe, and welcome Aislinn Jeline.
and the Shrekonomicon. Welcome to the Book of Names.
We love you all so very, very much. Everyone, please stay safe.